Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introduce myself. My name is Zahra Nuraisyah and my standbook number is A1M224119. So, the story I took is a narrative text that I got from the 2013 curriculum, class 11 book entitled The Intended Fish. The following is the story and development. The Intended Fish. There once was a fisherman who lived with his wife in a small hut close by the seaside. The fisherman used to go fishing every day. One day, as he sat in his boat with his rod, looking at the sparkling waves and watching his line, all of a sudden his boat was dragged away deep into the water. He quickly started to reel in his line and managed to pull out a huge fish. "Wow, this will feed us for days." Much to his surprise, the fish started to talk and said, "Pray, let me live. I am not a real fish. I am an enchanted prince. Put me in the water again, and let me go. Have mercy, O kind fisherman." The astonished fisherman quickly threw him back, exclaiming, "I don't want to hurt a talking fish. Go on. Go where you come from." When the fisherman went home to his wife, he told her everything that had happened and how, on hearing it speak, he had let it go again. "Didn't you ask it for everything?" said the wife. "No, I didn't. What should I have asked for?" replied the fisherman. "I am surprised you don't realize what you should have asked for. We live very wretchedly here, in this nasty and dirty hut. You are poor and I am so miserable. You should have asked for a nice cozy cottage. Now, go back and ask the fish that we want a snug little cottage," said his wife. The fisherman wasn't sure about this, but he still went to the seashore, sat in his boat, went to the middle of the sea, and said, "Oh, enchanted beautiful fish, hear my plea. My wife wants not what I want, and she won't give up till she has her own will. So come forth and help me." The fish immediately came swimming to him and said, "Well, what is her will? How can I help your wife?" Said the fisherman. "She says that when I had caught you, I ought to have asked you for something before I let you go. She doesn't like living in our little hut and wants a snug little cottage." "Go home then," said the fish. "She is already in the cottage." So the fisherman went home and saw his wife standing at the door of a nice trim little cottage. "Come in, come on in. Look at the beautiful cottage we have." Everything went fine for a while, and then one day the fisherman's wife said, "Husband, there is not enough room for us in this cottage. Go back at the fish and tell him to make me an emperor." "Wife," said the fisherman, "I don't want to go to him again. Perhaps he will be angry. We ought to be happy with what the fish has given us and not be greedy." "Nonsense," said the wife. "The fish will do it very willingly, I know. Go along and try." With a heavy heart, the fisherman went to the middle of the sea and said, "Oh, enchanted beautiful fish, hear my plea. My wife wants not what I want, and she won't give up till she has her own will. So come forth and help me." "What would she have now?" said the fish. Said the fisherman. "She wants to be an emperor." "Go home," said the fish. "She is an emperor already." So he went home and he saw his wife sitting on a very lofty throne made of solid gold, with a great crown on her head, full 2 yards high, and on each side of her stood her guards and attendants in a row. The fisherman went up to her and said, "Wife, are you an emperor?" "Yes," said she, "I am an emperor." "Ah," said the man, as he gazed up on her, "what a fine thing it is to be an emperor." "Husband," said she, "it is good to be an emperor." They were happy for a while. Then a time came when she was not able to sleep all night, for she was thinking what she should ask next. At last, as she was about to fall asleep, morning broke, and the sun rose. Huh, thought she, as she woke up and looked at it through the window. After all, I cannot prevent the sun from rising. At this talk, she was very angry and wakened her husband and said, Husband, go to the fish and tell him I must be lord of the sun and the moon. The fisherman was half asleep, but the talk frightened him so much that he fell out of bed. Hell's wife, said he, cannot you be happy with being such a powerful emperor? No, said she. I am very uneasy as long as the sun and the moon rise without my permission. Go to the feast at once. I don't think this is a good idea, said the fisherman, but his wife wouldn't listen to him. Why don't you just go and ask the fish to make me the lord of everything, said she. Then the man went shivering with fear. As he was going down to the shore, a dreadful storm arose. The trees and the very rocks shook, and the sky became black with stormy clouds. There were great black waves, swelling up like mountains with crowns of white foam upon their heads. Unfortunately, the fisherman didn't have any choice, so he got onto his boat, rowed to the middle of the sea, and cried out as loud as he could. Oh, into the beautiful fish, hear my plea. My wife wants not what I want, and she won't give up till she has her own will. So come forth and help me. What does she want now? Said the fish. I am truly ashamed of my wife's greed, but I can't do anything. She wants to be lord of the sun and the moon. Go home, said the fish, to your small hut. And it is said that they live there to this very day. That's the story I tell. So, after reading the story above, answer the question below carefully. Question number 1. What was the fisherman's initial reaction when he caught a talking fish? The answer: the fisherman was surprised when he caught a fish that could talk. Evidence in the story is the astonished fisherman quickly threw him back in the first paragraph. Question number 2. How did the fisherman's wife react when he told her about the magical fish? The answer: when the fisherman told her that he had caught a magic fish, his wife's reaction was that she felt disappointed and angry because her husband had just released the fish without asking anything from the magic fish. Evidence in the story: I am surprised you don't realize what you should have asked for. We live very wretchedly here in this nasty and dirty hut. We are poor and I am so miserable. You should have asked for a nice cozy cottage. Now go back and ask the fish that we want a snug little cottage in the paragraph 3. So, this section shows that the fisherman's wife only thinks about material gain and doesn't appreciate her husband's good attitude in freeing the fish. Question number 3. What is the attitude of the fisherman's wife toward their simple hut? The answer: the fisherman's wife are dissatisfied with the simple hut they have and feel that they deserve a better house. The attitude of the fisherman's wife shows their desire to get more than what they have. Evidence in the story: blah blah blah, we want a snug little cottage in paragraph 3. This shows that the fisherman's wife felt that their simple life in a small hut was shameful and had to be changed. Question number 4. What did the fisherman do after he caught the magic fish? The answer: after catching the magic fish, the fisherman immediately released it back into the sea because they fulfilled the request of the magic fish who want to be freed. Evidence in the story. Pray, let me live. I am not a real fish. I am an enchanted prince. Put me in the water again and let me go. Have mercy, O kind fisherman. In paragraph 1. Question number 5. What is the attitude of the fisherman toward his wife increasing the means? The answer. The fisherman was reluctant and worried that he would make the fish angry, but he still followed his wife's wishes because he didn't want her to be disappointed. Evidence in the story. I don't think this is a good idea. In paragraph 8, the fisherman's hesitant attitude shows that he is aware of the bad consequences that will arise from his wife's greed, but he doesn't have the courage to refuse his wife's request. Question number 6. What made the fisherman's wife make her last wish? The answer. The fisherman's wife was upset because she could not control the moon and the sun. The fisherman's wife wanted the sun and the moon to appear at her command until finally she made a wish to be able to control the moon and the sun. Evidence in the story. After all, I can prevent the sun from rising, and I am very uneasy as long as the sun and the moon rise without my permission. Go to fish at once. In paragraph 8. Question number 7. What does the change in weather, storm, and dark sky mean when the fisherman conveys his wife's last wish? The answer. When the fisherman's wife asked to be the ruler of the sun and the moon, the request was very unrealistic and very excessive. The sudden change in weather shows that nature really doesn't like the unbridled greed of the fisherman's wife. Evidence in the story. As he was going down to the shore, a dreadful storm arose. The trees and the very rocks shook, and the sky became black with stormy clouds. There were great black waves swelling up like mountains with crowns of white foam upon their heads. In paragraph 9. Question number 8. How is the character of the fisherman's wife depicted in the story? The answer. First, the fisherman's wife has a greedy nature. The fisherman's wife always asks her husband to go to the magic fish every time her request is fulfilled. She always wants something bigger and grander than before, starting from a small hut to wanting to become the ruler of the moon and the sun. Second, the fisherman's wife is not grateful. The fisherman's wife doesn't feel grateful for what the magic fish has given her. She always felt that what she had was not enough. Third, the fisherman's wife has a selfish nature. The fisherman's wife only cares about her own interests and desires, without looking at the consequences for her husband and their relationship. Evidence in the story. First, after getting a comfortable cottage, she asked for a palace. After becoming emperor, she wanted to be the ruler of everything. She was never satisfied with what she already had. Second, when she got the palace and became emperor, she still felt unhappy and kept demanding more. Third, she didn't even think about the fisherman's first when the storm came or when her husband was reluctant to ask the magic fish for more. Question number 9. How does the fisherman's wife greed affect her relationship with her husband? The answer. The fisherman's wife's greed creates tension and conflict in their relationship, as she repeatedly pressures her husband to make more wishes of the magic fish despite his objection. Evidence in the story. Go to the fish and tell him I must be lord of the sun and the moon, and I don't think this is a good idea. The fisherman's wife's greed creates an unhealthy relationship where she was domineering and constantly demanding, while her husband fell victim to her unbearable ambition. The lack of healthy communication and emotional stress eventually destroyed their relationship along with the material ruin they experienced. Question number 10. How does the ending of the story teach us about the importance of gratitude? The answer: the greed of the fisherman's wives made them lose everything that the magic fish had given them. Initially, they lived in a small hut with a simple, peaceful life. However, due to the insatiable desires of the fisherman's wife, they ended up back at square one. If they were grateful and the fisherman's wife wasn't greedy for the cozy little cottage or the position of emperor that the magic fish gave them, then they wouldn't have lost it all. The greed of the fisherman's wives has destroyed what they already had. Thank you for watching.